Everything you need is already inside of you. The world would not be what it is without you. When we begin to create change within us, we begin to create change in the world around us. Your journey to becoming your best self as the whole person starts right now.
Hello, I'm Lauren Sweeney, and I'm your host of the Become Your Best podcast and webinar series. I am excited to be here with you today. Welcome to the podcast. Today we have an incredible, we love the hearts if you're watching us live on the Facebook or if you're listening to our audio version. We are excited that you're here. Today's special guest is going to be absolutely amazing, and this is real world, real life. So we're streaming to you live. We do not edit this. This is just how we roll. Kristen Kurtz is an amazing, incredible woman, and let me tell you about her before I bring her on. She's worked in the wellness industry for over 20 years. First, she was a massage therapist, then an esthetician and a spa owner. Oh my goodness, we have a lot in common. And then after getting her degree from UCSC in environmental studies, she now understands how modern day lifestyle can negatively impact people's bodies and minds. Her years of experience taught her how to help people take care of their health so that true transformation can happen. Now, Kristen works motivating people who feel stuck. She has been there too, so she understands how to unlock people's potential in a way that is loving, yet direct and honest. Kristen Kurtz, we are very excited to have you here live on our podcast today. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my goodness, fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing now, how you got into it. It sounds like you have such a holistic background from physically working on the body. Now you're working with people's, minds, processes, habits. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. It started way back when. It feels like a long time ago. I spent about 15 years living in Hawaii, on Kauai. And that was really wonderful. That is where I got a lot of healing work experience, worked with great people, trained myself, and got trained to be a massage therapist, esthetician, yoga teacher, had a little spa. And just like you mentioned, I worked with people's bodies mostly. And that stemmed from me having my own chronic back pain. In my 20s, I had really bad back pain. I had like a crooked spine, and I had to go through this whole healing journey to figure out how to heal myself, my back. And so that's what everything was focused around the body and just kind of helping people. And then it quickly really developed into the mind and why we get stuck and just this fascination with that process as I deepened and grew that my work with people, that's where I wanted to focus. So got my coaching certification and have been coaching for years now, and it makes perfect sense, blends them together. And I could geek out on this stuff all day on how to help us, how to help me, how to help you, how to help all of us. It's great. So
I love that. I love that. So where should someone start? Maybe they're listening. It's June 2021. They're thinking, we're 6 months into the year already. Where would you recommend someone does start if they feel stuck?
Yeah, I mean, I guess starting where I see a lot of people kind of go wrong is starting too big. So starting with too big of a goal, or I always like to use this example of, because you hear this a lot, as I'm never going to eat sugar again beginning tomorrow. I'm never going to eat sugar again. I'm going on a diet, and that is a recipe for a disaster, as we know, because we have these great intentions, but if you start too big, you just can't tackle it. So starting small, and just breaking it down into baby steps. And to use that example of, never eating sugar again, if you were someone who had, 3 Diet Cokes a day, go down to 1 a day. Do 1 a day for a while, for a few weeks. Then can you go down to one a day, 5 days a week. So you're cutting out the 2 days a week. And then my second, piece of advice would be replacing it with things that you can have, changing that mentality from deprivation to one of curiosity. I get to explore these other drinks now. So now I'm going to try lemon water and mint water and coconut water and all the things I can have, because we like to obsess on what we can't have. And so the minute you say that to yourself, then you're going to go into all the reasons why you now want it even more. And so those would be the two ways to get started: is don't put pressure on yourself to never do the thing that you want to, you want to improve a habit. Don't say you're never going to do it. Just take that pressure off. How can I minimize it? What are these small steps I can take consistently over a long period of time? Because it is, right? It's a long game. It's not, how are we going to do it for 2 weeks, 21 days? No, this is like, how am I going to create this change? Because I really want to change this. And then, just replacing it with things you get to do instead of what you don't get to do.
I love that. We do that practice all the time. We lead people through that when we're doing emotional intelligence and talking about, I had to wake up this morning and fix breakfast and get my kids ready for school, to I got to actually help create my, take my healthy children and they get to go to school. That same exact kind of a concept. I love that. Applying that with your health. I get to, I'm blessed to, or I'm grateful to, or oh my goodness, I have this incredible body, or I have money to buy the soda, but I could choose not to, and I could choose to be creative and taste different types of mixes and waters and things like that. So I think that's fantastic. What about if somebody is feeling stuck in movement? So I know that you did a lot of work before, right? Taking care of people's skin. And then also, did you teach yoga for a while?
Yeah.
So what if somebody, especially during the pandemic, has, gained maybe that COVID 10, 15, 20, 30, and they don't know where to start with movement. They're out of the habit. Nothing feels easy. Everything kind of hurts. Or I have heard from friends recently that, I started taking a walk, or I started running, I started biking, and now my knee hurts, so I might as well go back to sitting on the couch. What would you say to that?
Yeah. It's funny. I actually just listened to my friend. He was talking a lot about movement and that same thing where, again, it's this overdoing it extreme. We have such extremes, and it's a blessing and a curse, So, okay, I want to get healthy now, and then we'll put this pressure on ourselves to go to the gym and take this power core, cardio class that we haven't done in years. And then we fail because we look at all the other people and they're doing it so much better. And so again, it's knowing why, getting to the root of why you want to do these things. If you're really unhappy and not feeling good, you've put on that extra weight, you just don't feel good in your body, really knowing the why of why you want to change is going to motivate you during those times where it is a little hard. And the easiest thing to do is to go back to what you love. Like, go back to what you love doing. When you were a kid, what were the things that you liked doing? Or what's something you're curious about trying? And really keep it simple. So going back to the basics. I mean, for me, I just cherish walking the dog in the morning, going out, walking the dog. It's free, it's easy. You can start to then push yourself, maybe do a little jog. And so starting small, doing what you love, and just get started. And know yourself. I have a whole morning routine, this wake up method program, and I'm a very big fan of the morning routine. Not the morning routine where you got to get up at 5 a.m. and do all these crazy things to me, that's stressful. That would overwhelm me. And that's not realistic if you have kids and getting them out of the house. But morning routine in the sense, take 20 minutes and just move your body, or meditate, or write in when you can do it later in the day. Get that morning practice of a very small amount of time, but that sets your day up so that you can get out there and exercise at some point if you can't do it in the morning.
I love that idea of either doing it in the morning or scheduling it for later on. But either way, it's scheduled. What would you say to someone, and I bet you hear this a lot from your clients, well, I told myself I was gonna, but I only promised it to myself. So it's okay. I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, again, it's kind of going into like what, who down the road, if you keep making these choices, what's at stake? You kind of have to really motivate them to understand how important it actually really is and dig underneath to the root causes of some of this stuff, which can take time for that, that transformational change. But I would ask them, what's one small action that you can commit to? So as okay, you didn't make it, you didn't do it, and you're just saying it's okay. It was only me that I didn't do it. What would you do? How could you do it, and what would you do? And what would be one small action so that you could set yourself up for success to do it? Because it is so important because of the reasons that we would have discussed, to kind of make them see how important it is.
I love that. Because if we keep breaking promises to ourselves, then our word really does mean nothing, right? And we feel better. I always like to tell people about the analogy of the airplane. When does it take the most effort, the most energy, is when it gets off the ground, right? And then when you're at cruising altitude, that's the easiest. That's when it doesn't feel like so much work. And so get the airplane off the ground and then don't land your airplane, because you're going to have to use all that momentum to get it up again.
Well, yeah. And also, like, when you break those promises to yourself, it seems like it's not a big deal because you didn't tell anybody, which I do believe that you should have accountability partners and vocalize it and tell it to people, because it does make you accountable. But even if, you didn't, and you just kind of blew that under the rug, swept that under the rug, it was just me. That really does harm you. That really does. That doesn't feel good to us. And when we do break those promises to ourselves, we do take that hit emotionally. So I would love to uncover a little more about that, like how they got to that point in a loving way. Of course, I'm not a coach that's like tough love, mean, but I would want to know more about that,
I love that. Well, talking about accountability partners or the benefit of having a coach, how have you seen being a coach for people and being coached has made a difference, like actually having that type of level of accountability?
I mean, it's everything, right? It's everything. And I've gone through with Netta, and I've done Success Club, and I mean, I need a coach. I need coaches too. And it just proves it over and over again how important that is, to have that accountability, and who we surround ourselves with is so important to our growth. And what's that statistic? Something like you're only as successful as the 5 people that you hang out with most, or, all of that is so true. If you want to up-level yourself, and sometimes you need it, you've reached your capacity of where you are, you've done everything that you can, and you want to up-level, that's the perfect time to get coaches. I've benefited from coaches and will continue to. So I just really believe in it. I think it helps us all just with.
Absolutely. Having someone that when they hire you as their coach, or have an accountability partner, like start somewhere so that somebody else knows that today you're not going to have the soda and you might be extra cranky, but you're going to try something new, so that you can just start somewhere. Like you said, I love that don't eat the elephant all at once. It will not work. You have to eat it one bite at a time. Start small changes. What is some of the most fulfilling things that you've helped your clients do?
Well, I mean, it's so fulfilling. I have like 90-day programs too. So I really get to like dive in with these people, and we just have such a relationship by the end. And to see people achieve what it is they want, because really, my tagline is like helping people reconnect to themselves, because we all know the answers. We know our own answers most of the time. We know what we need. We just don't create the time and space to hear that and to figure it out. We busy ourselves and we make excuses and we beat ourselves up and we're so hard on ourselves. But coaching clients and seeing them through and then see them actually achieving what it is they want, or having that them, I'll be about to say something that would be advice that I would give them. They say it. Like if I just close my mouth, the next sentence is what I was going to say. I'm like, this is amazing. So that is what excites me the most, is just, I have been there. I've been, I've had anxiety attacks. I have so been there where you have no clarity. You're confused. Something's not quite right. It can be better, but you just don't know how to get yourself out of it. And to see people go from like overwhelmed, frazzled, like not feeling connected, to then feeling connected, excited, confident. I mean, there's nothing better, right?
Oh, I love that. I love that you mentioned more things than just being stuck. So anxiety, which a lot of people are experiencing even more than ever during this time, all of those different things, that they're not alone. And they may look at you and go, but she's like so successful and put together. She feels anxiety and overwhelmed. Yes. And working with a coach and having steps and feeling like there is steps to get out of it. Well, Kristen, I know you have a freebie for us as well, right? How can we access it? What do they get?
Yeah. So this is a workshop that I've hosted, and it is 7 steps to manifest what you want. So it's a really, really great downloadable. You can go to my website right here, KristenKurtzCoaching.com/freebie, and just download that PDF. Great exercises, writing them out, some things to do. It'll really help give you clarity on how to jumpstart getting what you want.
I love that. If you're listening, Kristen is spelled Kristen and Kurtz is Kurtz, coaching/freebie. And of course, you can always go to our Rise Up For You Facebook page where you can catch the visual. And then of course, they can also just go to your website to see everything. If they want to work with you, they can book a free call with you on your website. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Kristen, we'd love to ask all of our guests a final question. And it's, what does Rise Up For You mean to you?
Yeah. Rise Up For You, to me, is really all about the ripple effect. Because when we take care of ourselves, then we reflect that back out into the world. And so it is this ripple effect of, rise up for yourself. Do like that example of us not just saying, oh, it's just me, so I don't have to exercise because I only said it to myself. That's not rising up for you. Rising up for yourself is taking charge of your own health, taking charge of your own self-care, taking charge of your own, mental state, so that the ripple effect of that is everything else becomes better in your world, everyone else that you interact with. So you get this byproduct of feeling so great inside because you rose up, you rised up for yourself, and then it ripples out into the world.
I love that. Absolutely. When you take care of yourself, then you can make an impact on others. Otherwise, you get burnt out, and then you can't help yourself, and you definitely can't help others.
Yeah, it's a win-win to rise up for you,
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Kristen, it's been so amazing having you on the podcast today.
Thank you. I'm so happy that I got to do this.
I love it. I love everything that you talked about in terms of the body and the mind and the connection and your evolution and your journey and just what you've created as a business owner as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Wasn't that fantastic? Just that journey and getting started. It just takes starting a little bit, getting going and figuring it out as you go. Well, it's been my absolute pleasure to be your host today. I am Lauren Sweeney, a core coach and trainer here at Rise Up For You. If you are looking for strategy about your business, we have the thing just for you. this Friday, June 11th, we have a free Rise Impact conference. Grab your free ticket today at riseupforyou.biz/impact. We will see you on the next podcast.